So welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744, and today, guys, we're going to be doing a World Cup tier list for 2026. We're ranking all the 42 nations that have qualified, and yeah, I've also got Doodle with me, man. And yeah, the World Cup, man, is the biggest sporting event of the world, and I mean, I think it's only fair we do this before the World Cup draw. We're even do this before the World Cup draw, and obviously after the World Cup draw, we'll probably do an updated one, going over this again. And yeah, like I said, we're not going to include the playoff teams because they haven't qualified yet. So we're going to we'll do this again in March. We'll add those 6 teams that have qualified in March.
Yep.
So let's go over the tiers real quick and how this is going to work. So we have contenders being like the favorites, potential contenders, may surprise. We got dark horse, we got average, and then we got happy to be there. And this person actually did. I think this person actually ranked all the put all the nations in the order they qualified, which I think is really cool. So I guess we'll go through it that way. So before we start, do you have anything to say, Doodle? Before we start, and obviously, you guys know I'm repping the United States at the World Cup, guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I live here. So.
No. Oh, one thing I have to say is if you go up in the tier, I just noticed you misspelled contenders. The N is missing up there. So.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. Oh, I see now.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. What were we saying?
There we go. Yeah. But yeah, we can get started, I think.
Yeah. So let's start with Canada, the first national team. Now, for those that don't know, guys, I was actually born in Canada, so technically I have a soft spot for Canada. So I guess I kind of am Canadian in some way. Well, I am Canadian. I do feel more American, though, because obviously, I've lived here more, but I do have a soft spot for Canada. So Canada, man, I'm not too sure, man. Obviously, the last World Cup, they didn't do so well. That was the first World Cup in so many years, so I think we can kind of excuse that. And this time around, though, they're the host nation. So what are we saying? I'm saying maybe average.
See, this is tough because there's actually a Canadian mutual. You know him as well. There's a Canadian that actually does a lot of content that is on Twitter. He's a Juventus fan as well, so we speak about it. And shout out to him. And he and I asked him a couple of questions about Canada, and he told me that he thinks that Canada's problem, it seems like, is that sometimes they can be a bit dry going in the final third. They can be like indecisive. That's the problem with them. It seems like they sometimes cannot be really productive, and they seem like a bit kind of a patchy kind of a team. It's a bit tough to rank them. I'm kind of thinking, I'm not going to say happy to be there because, look, I think Canada, I think they would have qualified even if, they had to do it in the regular format in the CONCACAF. I think, we saw it. We saw how well they did in the last cycle. You know what? Because they are one of the hosts, I know they don't host as many games as the other two, but I'm actually going to put them in dark horses, actually, because I think Canada, they could be a potential, they shouldn't be taken that lightly. They have a lot of very quick players. They're going to play in transition. And, if they can defend well, they can play in transition. They can suck up the pressure. Let's not forget, I know they didn't do well in the last World Cup. But let's not forget the game against Belgium that they had in the first game. We all remember how that went, potentially. So I would say, honestly, I'm going to say dark horses. I'm not definitely be, they could potentially be a surprise package if things align for them.
Yeah, honestly, you're thinking about it because Canada have some great players. Obviously Alphonso Davis comes to mind, Jonathan David comes to mind.
Very good. A lot of speed in the team.
Yeah, and remember, Canada did make the Copa America semis in 2024. So, I think Canada. You know what? I think dark horse isn't a bad shout.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're the biggest dark horses. I mean, to be fair, they are. I'm not saying they're the strongest in there probably, but you say they can. I don't think they should be taken that lightly because
Yeah. Let's move to Mexico, man. Obviously, as a rival fan here, I'm being objective here. Mexico, man, the home atmosphere. They probably have the best home atmosphere of all 3 of these teams, the host teams. And the thing with Mexico is that this always hurt them. They have never been able to get past a round of 16 in recent years. Yeah. I think the last time they got past round of 16, I think was when they hosted it in 1986.
Yeah, I don't know.
And now they're hosting it as well. So maybe it's time for their quarterfinals, Yeah. But as we know, Mexico have fallen off, as we all know. They have not been the same, and they got grouped in the World Cup in the last edition, which I think was the first time in a very long time.
Yeah, got grouped in the Copa America as well. Last World Cup America.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Having said that, I made a tweet a few days ago saying that I think Mexico actually might make it further than out of all the three host nations. And the simple reason is that at the Azteca, at their home stadium, they're going to be very, very difficult to beat. Now, that's not saying that they're contenders, or that's not saying they're going to win the World Cup, because no, I think that they have issues. It's very clear. But I have to say they have to be in a dark horse, because I feel like they're going to make it very difficult for whoever visits them. It's going to be like very, very tricky. You know, Mexicans, I know them. They're very, very passionate. They're some of the most passionate fans out there in football. I think for me, they got to be dark horse, because I know maybe talent-wise, they don't live up to, maybe they don't have as much talent as the USA or even Canada, but I just feel like the World Cup setting in Mexico, I think they can be very, very difficult to beat. And I think for me, it's got to be dark horse as well, personally.
Yeah, and for me, I would put them above Canada.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, and some key players from Mexico. We obviously got Santiago Jimenez that comes to mind.
And by the way, Gilberto Mora, remember the name.
Gilberto Mora. Yeah, and obviously got Ochoa. Actually, no, Ochoa's not playing anymore.
No. They have like a couple of players. Raul Jimenez. Santi Jimenez. So let's not even talk about him. But, you know, they have. But, no, I think they're just going to be tricky to beat, I think. Especially away.
Yeah. Now, my country, man, United States. I'll be honest with you. After the World Cup, I was very pessimistic with this team. We had a disastrous Copa America. We had a really bad Nations League. We got owned by Panama yet again. But I think after the Nations League, we have kind of started to kind of improve. We have kind of done decent the friendlies, you know, getting smashing Uruguay, defeating Paraguay, defeating Japan. But then again, it is just friendly, so we can't really read too much into this. But I do feel like the United States is kind of progressing under Pochettino, and thankfully we got rid of that bum coach, our Greg Berhalter. That coach, it was disastrous. And I think for the United States, I'm going to say dark horse as well.
Yeah, I agree. I will say between Mexico and Canada, I feel like, because I feel like Mexico is just going to be a bit tougher. Also, Mexico, one thing I didn't say about them is they can be very physical. That's the thing. Yes. I will say talent-wise, the U.S. have the best talent from these three. I will definitely say that. That's why I have them over Canada, and, you know, still home advantage, you know, well it was. And no, USA, we know, you know, they can. We have seen them in the World Cups before. Pull some upsets. We saw upsets, or at least, you know, slow teams down. We saw them in 2010, 2022. They drew against England. And we've seen them, you know, be able to do it. They also held Belgium to just 2-1 loss in Germany in 2014. So we know he can do it. But the thing with the US that I'm kind of worried about is how locked in will the players be? That's the question that I have with them. That's, I think, the biggest is like, will they go into this like full mode, you know, like very tough-minded? Because the U.S. teams in the past, when they had much less talent, they still, you know, found ways to actually fight against these kind of teams, you know, because they had that mentality. That's, I think, one question I have, because they have the talent to potentially make a deep run, but will they be able to do it? That's why, for me, they're the dark horse for now.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest problem in the United States is the arrogance of these players. So these players are acting too
They cannot go into this with arrogance. They need to go focused.
Yeah.
And Pochettino also needs to, like, you know, showcase what he can do.
Yeah, obviously, key players for the United States are obviously Christian Pulisic, Timothy Weah. Obviously, we also have McKennie, Adams as well. And for the United States, as I said, man, quarterfinals should be the bare minimum. Should be the expectation.
Yeah.
Let's move to Japan. Now, Japan is a national team that is Japan, man. They're always a national team that plays so well, and then sometimes they underperform. Because you know what the sad thing is? The last World Cup, I would say, even though they did make the round of 16, you can still say it was kind of underperforming.
You know, the thing is, even to 2018, let's not forget, they were up 2-0 against Belgium and lost 3-2. Japanese, look, I think they can be they have a lot of talent, you know, and they play with, like, their technical ability is very good. They're like, they play with so much, like, heart as well. You can see, like, you know, they play with so much, you know, passion. It seems like they play with so much drive. And they have a lot of good players as well. Having said that, though, the reason why I can't really put them in potential contenders, I think they're definitely in dark horse category. The reason I can't put them in potential contenders is, like, I rate their team a lot, by the way. And I think they can. Like, there's many European teams that can also beat themselves. But the thing with dark Japan, I feel like, is that they do have that. Sometimes it just gets to them where they just kind of crumble under pressure. I feel like it just gets to them emotionally where they're just not able to. they're kind of like similar to Canada in that regard. Like, Canada, I feel like how that same take that, they sometimes can get overwhelmed by pressure or something. I think Japan have a better team, though. I'll put Japan over all these three, personally. But I will say it's dark horse as well, personally.
Yeah, Japan, they're very good teamwork. And you know what's crazy, man? Japan have never made it to the quarterfinals ever in their history.
Yeah.
So
they can do it, but that's why, for me, it's got to be dark horse, I think.
Yeah, so Japan's very well team-oriented. We obviously got Minamino that comes to mind. He's an incredible player. You obviously got Ritsudoan as well. And yeah, the thing with Japan is that there's not like really any standout players. It's kind of like everyone's kind of around the same level. It's just like very teamwork, and that's very important.
Yeah.
So yeah, Japan, I'm putting this right there. I also agree with you as well. Next up is Australia.
No, that's New Zealand.
Sorry, New Zealand. Oh man, I got the flag.
I'm sorry, New Zealand. I mean, let's be honest. Like, they're just happy to be here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, look, this is their first appearance in 2010. Let's not actually forget, in 2010, they technically didn't lose a single match. But they also didn't win it.
True.
2 games. Did end up eliminating Italy as a result, though, which is funnily enough. But I think for New Zealand, look, I think they're just happy to be here. With this expanded format, I think they're pretty much guaranteed to qualify every World Cup from here on, because unless something happens, because let's be honest, in Oceania, they're by far the superior team. There's even an argument maybe they can be moved to Asia, just like Australia were. We'll see what happens with that. But I think for New Zealand, let's be honest, they're just happy to be here.
Yeah, then obviously you got Chris Wood. I mean, Chris Wood's the only New Zealand player I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, guys, sorry for the apologies there. I mixed up with Australia. Their flags are really similar, so my apologies there.
Yeah,
thanks for writing me. Next up is Iran.
Ooh, this is tricky.
So
I actually know a bit about this team because there's an Inter fan that I follow each other that's from Iran. He criticizes the team a lot because the coaching, it seems like, is not there. The players, it seems like the talent that Iran that we know used to have in the past is kind of not there. They've been like, they did qualify, of course, but the thing with Iran is they're so hard to think about because Iran, we know they are not always typically the easiest team to play against. We have seen them tricky to play against. Yeah. Having said that, though, quality that Iran have right now is not really good. So I'm leaning towards average. I don't think this Iran team just has what it had in the past. I just don't think their players are there. They had some like difference makers in the past. I just don't see it.
And I think a lot of the players have passed their prime, like Taremi, one of the key players. He's dipped.
Yeah. And I think in general, for me, they're average. I think.
And it's and a lot of their key players are very, very old as well. There's not a lot.
Just no enough.
And I think Iran have never made it past the group stage. So I mean,
for me, it's average. I think they got to be now.
I'm not sure they make it past the group stage, the new format. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Moving on to Argentina, of course. I think it goes without saying.
Yeah.
The defending
contenders. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Obviously contenders. And Argentina. What's there to say? I mean, they're very well organized, very well structured. You know what the crazy thing is? They're still doing very well, even without Messi being as optimal form, being a peak form.
I think this is going to be a passing of the torch tournament for Argentina. I think Messi's probably not going to have as big of a role, I would imagine, as he did in the past for them. But they're contenders. They're still a great team. Scaloni, he has this team drilled well. They're very organized. They play with togetherness. They have that bite. They have that, physicality to them. They're going to have a heart. They have difference makers. And obviously they're going to be a contender. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to go back to back because that's a very, very difficult ask.
Yeah.
But they're definitely contenders, and I think they can definitely make another deep run.
Argentina for me is quarterfinals. They have to make quarterfinals.
Anything below that is just failure, I think. I would be shocked, honestly.
Yeah. So Lionel Messi, Alvarez comes to mind. Other key players, and Next up is Uzbekistan. Obviously, it's the first nation that we have as a debutant of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And Uzbekistan did well in the qualifiers. I thought they were defensively solid for the most part. And I think for that. I'm looking at their pot. They'll probably be pot 4 in the FIFA rankings for the draw, which probably means
I think I'll put them above New Zealand and happy to be here. I think they're just, we'll see what Fabio Cannavaro can do. But it's kind of weird. They actually have a very good record against Iran, funnily enough. But I just think Iran are much more, have been more
Experienced.
balanced than the World Cups, right? Yeah, the World Cup is a completely different ballpark compared to the qualifiers. So I think Uzbekistan, they'll take this as like a good experience. I think a learning experience. And yeah, we'll have to see. But I think they're just happy to be here.
Yeah, obviously Shamardov is probably one of their best players.
Yeah, Kuzanov as well from Man City.
Yeah, Kusanov, yeah. South Korea, man. This team is very difficult to analyze. They're some people even like to call them the Kim Kardashians in Asian football. Basically, they're just so much drama going on with this national team and everything. And obviously they had Zach Klinsmann, and now they brought their new coach. And yeah, South Korea, man. I mean, it's kind of hard to gauge this team because this team has so much potential. You know, you got Son that's coming through. You got Wang Chan. So many key players, but the issue is just the federation, the management is just not up there.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, but I think I have to put them in average as well. Because the thing is, look, talent-wise, they don't compare with those teams, I think, above them. I think them, as we said, like, you know, they've definitely had our experience, as we know. South Korea, they've been to many World Cups now. But look, they just don't click enough, I feel like. They just don't click enough. It just doesn't help. They have a lot of potential, but they just can't really manage to use it. So I think for me, they've got to be an average. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Do you agree with them above Iran?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to the next one we got here. It is Jordan.
Ooh,
obviously,
Jordan.
World Cup debutant, and obviously this is a team that made the Asian Cup final by surprise. And now we'll see what they can do with the World Cup, man. And it's incredible they even made it here.
So I'm actually going to have a hot take, my first hot take, I think, of the video.
Oh.
So the guy that I was talking about of Canada, he's also from Jordan. So I will hear about it. And he actually said that he told me that Canada and Jordan are actually kind of similar in terms of like how they play. Jordan also, as we know, Jordan also, they have a lot of quick players. They can be good defensively. It's just their attack sometimes, again, indecisive in the final third. We have seen them make deep runs, though. We have seen them, be very tricky to beat. They're very... I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to say the crazy thing right now. I'm going to put them in dark horses. I actually think... Because think about it. They're going to play in transition, just like we said with Canada. They're going to lock up. They're going to try to use their pace, try to hit them in behind. They can be very solid defensively. It's just about if they can be clinical in the final third. And I know, they're debutants, right? They have never played there.
Yeah.
Right? I'm actually thinking they're going to be a surprise pack, one of the surprises packages. Not that they're going to go far or anything, but I just think they're not going to be that easy. I'm actually going to put them in dark horses next to Canada, funnily enough. I think they can.
I mean, I can hear your arguments, but I feel like
I get the inexperience part. I do understand it, but man, I don't know. For some reason, I just feel something about this Jordan team that I just kind of have a bit more confidence in them than those countries, like even more than South Korea and Iran. I just feel like they have a bit more, point to prove. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you can put them in average, but I feel like,
I mean, key players like Altar and Al Nemeth, like I said, are there. See, I kind of want to do what you said, but the fact is a debutant, though. I think
they are debutants, yeah. So maybe.
Okay, you know what? I have an idea. It's a fair compromise. Do we put them top average?
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Okay.
Because I don't want to put them in happy to be here because I think they're much better than that. I think even as a debutant, I would say there. And now we don't know how they're going to do, but, they can be potentially a tricky team. You never know how cool they can be.
Yeah. So next up, now this is Australia, guys. This is Australia.
This is Australia.
Yeah. The thing with Australia, guys, is that I'm just not sure about this team. This team is kind of weird. Obviously, they sacked their coach. Graham Arnold is no longer there. He's now with Iraq. And, Australia is a weird one because I feel like this is a team that they're always a difficult team. The World Cup, they always give it their all, But, the fact there's no Tim Cahill anymore.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And I just don't think Australia is as good as previous editions. But you know what's really interesting? A lot of people underestimate Australia in the last World Cup, and guess what they did? They made it to the round of 16. Yeah,
they made it. And they actually gave a decent fight against Argentina, who won the World Cup. So, I remember those last minutes, Australia nearly could have, gotten something out there. I remember that. They really,
Yeah, you know what I realized about Australia is that they don't have the. I don't think they have the players as good as the other teams we've discussed.
No, I think Australia has had much better players in the past. But at the same time, though, they have some, interesting players. Like I know Alessandro Circati from Parma. I know he's Italian, but he plays for Australia. He's already a captain at a young age.
Yeah.
Nestor Iracunda, I'm pretty sure, from Watford, from a Bayern player. Like it's not the most talented Australia team that we had, in Tim Cahill, Mark Viduka, et cetera, when they had that. But you know what? I'm going to put them, I'm actually an average, maybe top of average. They can also be like another potential dark horse. You never know. I mean, they are experienced at World Cups. We know they can be.
Yeah.
So I just don't think, I'm not really putting them in. I would say Jordan and Australia, I think, are like, countries. They're very, very close for me. They could potentially be in there.
Yeah, I think you would put Australia above Jordan, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, because
they're very close for me. They're very close.
Yeah, Australia, they're like I said, they may not have the amazing players as the other ones we've discussed, but I think they have like more. They're more passionate, they're more determined, and I think that could make a big point. Yeah. Next up, it is Brazil, obviously the 5-time World Cup champions. Fun fact for you guys: this is a country that has never missed a World Cup.
Never missed. Never.
And I believe this is the only country.
Yeah, that's the only country
that's played.
Yep, that's the only country.
The only country. So
it used to be Brazil and Italy until we know what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Brazil, as I said, man, I know there's been a lot of interesting discussion with them because I feel like a lot of people are kind of underestimating Brazil in this World Cup because obviously they didn't really have such a good qualifiers. They kind of just barely made it through. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the old format, they would have actually made it through the playoffs, which is very funny enough. But they do have Carlo Ancelotti now, who just came in the last few games, and that I think has completely changed the Brazil narrative. Because let's be real, if Brazil didn't change coaches, they were under Dorival, then yes, we would have every right to just credit them. Mm-hmm. But we all know Ancelotti's a very good coach. He is one of the most
knockout competitions is bread and butter. Let's be honest.
Yeah, World Cup is a knockout stage competition.
And what's crazy? Also, I feel like last couple of tournaments, Brazil, rightfully so, I think, were seen as like one of the favorites. They're always going to be. They're Brazil at the end of the day. But I feel like now, in last tournaments, it was a bit like that kind of pressure got to them. It was like high expectations. I feel like now there's a lot of reservations. So maybe that could work in their favor, where now they actually could be potential. I still think they're contenders, though. Now, I don't know. Now, see, this is the tough one. Do you put them above? I don't think you can put them above Argentina right now because Argentina are defending champions. Argentina were better. I hope Silva doesn't see this video because he's probably going to yell at me for this. But, but I think they're contenders because Carlo Ancelotti, and they still have the players. And I think they can do it. The question is this going to be Neymar's? Is Neymar going to make it? That's the question.
And for me, I'm going to say this on record. I don't believe Brazil can win the World Cup without Neymar. I just don't think they can.
I see. He needs to be fit, though. He needs to be fit.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to say Brazil. For me, I'm going to say potential contenders.
Yeah, I think potential contenders. I think, I can't put them in contenders either yet because we haven't seen it. But they could win it. It's still Brazil at the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, Brazil, as I said, it still needs to be respected. The 5-time World Cup champs. Mm-hmm. I've seen so many people say Brazil is just here for vibes and stuff like that. So you guys are being so disrespectful. No. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to Ecuador. See, here's the thing with Ecuador, man. This is a team that I think can do something, but my biggest issue with Ecuador is their offense is so garbage. I'm sorry, their offense is terrible.
Yeah.
And without Enter Valencia, it's just bust.
Yeah, but their defense is so tight. See, this is why. And sometimes, here's what I'm going to say, though. In tournament football, defense has always been a bit more, prioritized than offense. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? And let's be honest, they still have some talented players. Like they have Caicedo, like they Hincapie. There's many others they have also. Like it's not like if they had like even an offense, I'm pretty sure Gonzalo Plata from Flamengo is another that could be They do need better attackers, but their defense and they're so physical and they're so difficult to beat. Even though I know they got grouped in last World Cup, let's be honest, they put up a respectable fight in their group. Like they beat Qatar, they drew against Netherlands. Arguably should have won. Arguably should have beaten them, and then unfortunately lost against Senegal in a tough game. So this is not a team you want to. Now I know we're wondering like Australian, Jordan, and average. I think this got to be a dark horse. I think they got to be somewhere in the car because they can be really tricky to beat. They can be really tricky to deal with.
Yeah. So Ecuador, I also agree with you. Dark horse. Where do you put them in the dark horse tier though? Because this is where it gets tricky.
See, I'm not sure. You know what's funny? Because I can see them bottom, but I can also see them so far at the top because it's like wow, this is tricky.
Yeah, because I realize they're very opposite. Like their defense is so good, and then their attack is like so bad. It's very complete opposite.
Yeah.
You
know what? I'm gonna put them for now. I think below Canada, because at the end of actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna say above Canada, but below US and Mexico. I think.
Oh, I'm actually thinking about putting them. I'm thinking about putting them below Mexico.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You know what? Actually, I hear it. I think below Mexico, because I know talent-wise, US probably got a better team, but I just think Ecuador are much more of a talent tournament kind of based team than US.
And also, I think something that Ecuador have that USA don't really have is the physicality.
That's the thing. Yep, I agree. And see, that's why I think Mexico got to be above. Mexico also has that physicality. Japan less so, but Japan I think just have more individualism to them.
Yeah. So
let's say Ecuador. It's very tight.
Next up, it is Uruguay. Oof. And I'm sorry to say this to all my Uruguayans. Let's just cut to the chase. I don't think Uruguay will have a good World Cup. I just don't think they will. And there's a lot of rumors that the coach might get sacked. Bielsa might get sacked. I mean, okay. Let's actually address this first. Should Bielsa be sacked? Let's say you're the Uruguay FA. Would you sack him?
No. I mean, what's the point now? We have seen. I mean, to be fair, Morocco sacked their previous coach right before the World Cup, and we saw how far they went. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but it doesn't really. I feel like, but you can't just rely on that always, though. Just because it happens.
Yeah, because remember,
more often than not, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because remember, I think Spain did that with 2018 as well.
Spain did that because Lopetegui went to Real Madrid. They did that also, and you saw they had a disastrous World Cup. So it doesn't always happen. I don't think you can really get someone better than Bielsa. Bielsa is a good coach, tactically. He's one of the most experienced coaches. It's just he has that charisma to him that prevents him from winning. He just can't do it. Like, I'm sorry, but Uruguay. I mean, last World Cup they were poor. We remember they got grouped. I'm sorry, but this is not a Uruguay of old. I know they have won 2 World Cups. I know they're a historic nation. I get all that, but I'm sorry. We can't always just bring up history and everything for pedigree and everything. At some point, I'm going to put them on top of average, honestly, because I still think they have the players better than all those teams. Like they still have, Valverde. You have, some players. Arrascaeta from Flamengo. You have
Darwin Núñez.
Yeah. Araujo, I don't want to say Araujo. I mean, that guy's going to make a mistake in some big game. I know it for them. They also have other players. Yeah, you have Bentancur, who got his garbage, to be fair. And Darwin, I mean, come on. That's another thing, I think. Uruguay, one thing about Uruguay, that they had Cavani in the past. They had Forlan, they had Suarez. I'm sorry, but if you go from that to Darwin Núñez, I'm not going to trust you with that.
That's a really big downgrade.
Look, they can potentially be a dark horse. I'm not ruling it out. But I'm just not believing them that much. I feel like I think they're going to be good. They could be a dark horse. They can always be because it's Uruguay. But I think it's going to be.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, average for me. And I'm going to say it's Uruguay. You better not get grouped in back-to-back World Cups.
That's
expanded format. Yeah, that better not happen.
Yeah.
So let's move on to
now Colombia, who are back in the World Cup after missing the last one. So
2. Last 2
no, they were in 2018. No, they were in 2018.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. 2018. My bad.
Now, I think for me, straight up, they got to be a dark horse. I think.
Ooh. Yeah, you can make arguments.
They have a very talented team. They're a very physical team as well. They're a very quick team. They have goals in them. You know what? I'm going to say top of dark horse for now. I kind of have more confidence in than all those teams because, first of all, we saw they can be very difficult. I don't think they're going to be an easy team for anyone. I think they can be a very difficult team. I'm not going to put them in contenders because I just, it's Colombia at the end of the day. They slip up in those big moments. But I think, of Colombia, they're a team you just kind of want to avoid because they're going to make life so difficult for you and they have the weapons to also hurt you. That's why I feel like they got to be in top of the course person.
It's the thing is, I was about to agree, but then we saw Colombia went into this downhill kind of spot. Downhill.
True. I know that, but at the same time, it's I feel like they can, but I feel like they're gonna pick it up. I feel like they're still gonna, I don't want to really too much into it because I've seen it so many times with countries. They can have a bad form and go into World Cup and then perform well. And I think
Yeah,
Colombia
that's true.
just have the players for it. I think they just do. And I think for me, they got to be top of dark horse. They have the quality. In terms of quality, they're better than all those teams.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz, incredible player. You got
There were many players. Yeah, Carrascal. There's many others.
Carrascal. Yeah. So, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna agree with you, actually.
I know they have been on a dip in form, but I just think, still their upside, I think, is very high, personally.
Yeah.
So.
Next up, it is Paraguay. Paraguay, as we all know, is they're back at the World Cup, man. I think it was
2010 last time.
World Cups. Yeah, it's 3 World Cups, man. Wow.
Last time they only lost narrowly against that Spain team. So
yeah, what's interesting? Last time they made the World Cup, they made the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Imagine they do it again.
I don't think they're a dark horse because I just don't think their team is that good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you know what makes Paraguay so good is defensively they're very tough. They don't concede many goals.
Having said that, though, I think they're an average. I know what? I'm going to put them above. I think I'll put them definitely above Iran, definitely above South Korea. I guess probably above Jordan as well. Probably, I'll put them like below. I think I'll put them. You see, they're very tough to rank because I think they're around that area, like where Australia and Jordan are. I think that's where they are at, around that place.
Ooh, I was kind of maybe thinking we put them above Uruguay.
Should we do it? I mean, I hear it. Actually, I can hear it.
Because I think
because I think they're gonna go into World Cup with better vibes, I think, than Uruguay. Uruguay, I think, are gonna go in uncertainty. I just don't know how they're gonna do. And I know that kind of contradicts my previous point about you could go into bad World Cup in bad form and perform well, but you can also go into it with bad form and still perform badly. So I think I'm gonna put Paraguay over them all. I think.
Yeah, because like I said, Paraguay are very difficult defensively. They don't concede many goals. And I just think Paraguay, for me, there's not going to be as much pressure on them compared to Uruguay, which I expect there's going to be.
I agree.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to put Paraguay above.
Yeah.
I'm going to put them above there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you obviously got players like Almarion comes to mind. You got Enciso.
Yeah.
Comes to mind. You got Gustavo Gomez.
Yeah. Gustavo Gomez. Yeah. Many. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up it is our World Cup semifinalists, the last edition, Morocco. Yeah.
And I think you can argue they became even more talented since then. That's the crazy thing. They've added more young players. They're much more, we have much more stability now. They're much more, hear me out. Potential contenders.
Oh!
Below Brazil. But hear me out. Let me just say, they did make the World Cup semifinals. They have gotten better since. They got more, they're much more chemistry. I know they didn't have the great AFCON, and we'll see them AFCON now, to be fair. But you know what? I just hear it. I think they can. They're going to be much more confident. And by the way, their program right now is going very well. This is a team, I think, if there's ever going to be an African team that wins a World Cup, my first bet is going to be a Morocco. Because I think
Morocco is a good. Yeah.
I think for me, it's playoff contenders. I think they can, potential contenders. I think they can be very, very difficult. They can upset anyone, I think. And they play with so much heart as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's holding me back is because I just don't know if they're going to make a back, because they did so well in the last one. I don't know if they could,
True, maybe not. But the thing is ability-wise, though. But I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have I think they have the ability to match it.
I think they can. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they do.
You know what? Yeah, because I mean, if you think be honest, Morocco is more proven than these nations in the dark horse tier.
Yeah, they are. They literally made semifinals, and I feel like since then they've been trying to get better and better. They're trying to add more young players to them. They're transitioning, and they still have some of the old players. Hakimi just won the Best African Player of the Year award. Yeah.
Morocco, man.
What a rise.
Yeah.
What a rise.
Hakimi, Bono comes to mind. These are incredible players.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Morocco, man. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to agree with you, actually.
Yeah.
I was kind of hesitant, but I'm thinking about, I might actually agree. Next up is Tunisia. They've never made it past the group stage. but they always qualify for the World Cups, but they never make it past the group stage.
Yeah.
So, do we put them happy to be here?
No, I think they're better than that. You know what?
Ooh.
I'll say this. See, the Tunisia's problem is they're so good defensively, right? They have such a defense team. But just like Ecuador, their attack is just garbage. I just think Ecuador are much more talented, right? Let's be honest. Ecuador is much, so I'm not going to put them there. I say they put them average above Korea and Iran.
Ooh, okay.
Not about Jordan and Jordan, because I think Jordan have better attackers and they can be good defensive. That's why. But I'll put them there, I think. I think Jordan.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like Tunisian players I can remember at the top of my head. There's not that many. Because I know Khazri, but I think Khazri retired already, I think.
Yeah, I know. They're not. I don't really know their team that well. But at the same time, you know how they are. I just think they're going to be there. They're going to be tricky to beat, I think. That's just how they are. Usually.
Yeah. And next up it is Egypt, the most successful nation at AFCON. They won the most AFCONs. But even though they won the most AFCONs, they have not qualified the World Cup the most. That goes to Cameroon, actually. And speaking of Cameroon, they're not in this World Cup.
Yeah.
But that's somewhere for another time. But yeah, Egypt, they've never made it past the group stage.
I mean, the World Cup 2018, they had a disastrous World Cup. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I mean, they have Marmoush, Salah, Mohamed Salah, of course. Salah's kind of not great so far this season for Liverpool, honestly. It's his father's time finally catching up to him. Like Mohamed Salah.
I mean, Salah's been decent at qualifiers, I think so.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, is this just a step too far now? I think, and honestly, their team is just not that talented. They were going from Egypt. I'm gonna put them in average. I think they're kind of average. I think in that sense, not happy to be here. I think they're better than that. But damn, the question is, where do we put them? Like, I think they're next to Tunisia, honestly. Actually, no. Honestly, bottom, I think. Like, you could argue bottom.
Yeah, because
I think Iran and South Korea, I think, just have a bit more, to them than beyond. Like, I think Egypt's team is just, not that impressive.
I'll be honest with you.
I know Tunisia's team might not be that impressive, but Tunisia just know they're going to be a tough nut to crack. They're just going to be, that kind of a team.
Yeah, Egypt for me, I'm sorry to say. I think if Salah doesn't perform, I don't know if the other players will perform.
Marmoush, I'm sorry. Marmoush, as talented as he is, he's not that kind of a guy right now. Like, he's not someone that's going to just lead you to the I don't see it. Yeah, I think
I just think Egypt for them, if they want to do very well, they have to have Salah on top form because otherwise I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Next up it is Algeria. Now, this is a national name that's really weird because Algeria, ever since 2014, they have not qualified for the World Cup. And obviously this is a national team that had decent at AFCON. They won 2019, but then they got grouped to the last two AFCONs.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
but now it seems like they're also like, such a weird team because I remember that 2014 team, they gave Germany arguably the hardest ever game in that World Cup. Since then, it seems like they had a downward spiral, even though they won the AFCON. I don't know. It's very interesting. But Algeria, the thing about Algeria is, they're always going to have good players, though. Very technical players. You know what Algeria is. Man, it's tough because
I'm trying to think of key. You have Benacer that's still there.
Yeah, but Riyad Mahrez still plays, right? I think he's.
Yeah, I think Mahrez is still playing.
They have some others. I'm pretty sure. I can't really think on top of my head, but I know they have some players in Europe as well, probably in France. Ooh, I'm not gonna put them in dark horses because I just think they've been so long since I think they're just not there. But at the same time, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I think dark horse a bit too much.
They're definitely an average. Where do we put them? That's the question.
I'm thinking maybe above Jordan.
Yeah, I'll say above them. I'll say above Jordan.
Yeah, Algeria, man.
I might see it. What the hell is Australia above them? Australia have been more consistent. I feel like they've been to more World Cups now. I just think, they're just a bit more, All
right, next up is Ghana. Yeah. Ghana is also a weird one as well. They also got grouped in back-to-back AFCONs as well, I believe, which was crazy. And they're not even in the next year's AFCON, which is crazy to say, but they're in the World Cup. So Ghana is a weird team. So we know the Ayew brothers are still playing, which I don't know how they're still playing. They shouldn't be playing anymore. They need to move on. And yeah, obviously Ghana's top player is Mohamed Kudus. I mean, this guy is a baller. We know how good he is, and yeah, I mean, we saw how good Ghana were in the last World Cup. Like, let's be real. Besides the Uruguay game, they were actually pretty good. They gave Portugal a tough game. I know they lost 3-2, but
yeah, and they beat South Korea.
And they almost got a draw in that game. They almost got a draw against Portugal.
Yeah,
you know.
But man, the thing with Ghana is you just don't know what you're gonna get with them, though. You just don't know.
Ghana is very wild card because I think on their day they can be very good, but then sometimes
off their day they're just really bad. It's like for me that means average. They just screams average.
Yeah.
I think I'll put them next to Algeria, like above Jordan. I think below Jordan, above Jordan.
I'm thinking maybe above Algeria.
I mean,
Ghana were at the last World Cup.
True, but I don't know though. Man, it's tough. Okay, you know what? We can put them above Algeria. I suppose we can do it. But damn, that's tough. These are all really hard. By the way, just because we're ranking them this way doesn't mean that we think they're much better than. I think these are all very, very tough to rank.
Yeah, like it's close.
Like I think all of these in average, like a lot of these could be dark horses, as we said. It depends on how kind of upside they have, how they perform. But yeah, average.
The next up is Cape Verde.
I'm sorry, but come on, like. Like, look, very great story. I'm happy for them. Debutants, they're here now. But they're just happy.
They're happy to be here.
I put them above New Zealand, I think, but not above Uzbekistan. I think Uzbekistan just a bit more.
Yeah. Cape Verde is a very interesting team. We were just discussing about Ghana. They didn't qualify for the next AFCON. Cape Verde also didn't either.
Yeah, but Cape Verde. I mean, look, they're going to enjoy their time here, but I think they're just happy to be here.
Yeah. So Cape Verde, man. Some standout players. I think a Bebe comes to mind. So yeah. Anyways, moving on to South Africa, man. South Africa, Bafana.
First time since they hosted in 2010.
Yes. Yeah, and we all remember how, even though they didn't have a good World Cup 2010, they still had a very good vibes.
Look, they didn't have it as bad as a country next to them in the list, so we'll get through it. But South Africa, it's tough because they were pretty impressive in the qualifiers. We saw they have some talent, but it's like they're not. It's been so long since they were in a World Cup. Last time they were here, to be fair to them, they were in a tough group. To be fair to them, they did beat France, but to be fair, that French team was, completely imploded. But it's interesting. But man, this is tough. I'm thinking average. It's just I'm not sure where to put them.
Yeah, because South Africa, they have all their players are playing the local league. There's not a player that plays abroad. Yeah, which I think is crazy. It's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very.
How is that going to translate into the World Cup, where you play much better countries?
Yeah, that's true. So
unfortunately for me, look, I like their story. I like the way they've qualified. But unfortunately for me, I think they got to be in low average. I just think quality wise, I'm going to say below Tunisia. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to say below. Honestly, damn, it might be bottom.
Bottom, wow.
Not really bottom, not bottom. You know what? I'm going to say below Tunisia, but above all those three. I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll agree. I have more confidence.
It's tough, though. But look, we'll just have to see. Maybe they can do something, but I don't know. I just think they're going to struggle a lot, personally.
Yeah. So, next up is Qatar. I'm going to just say this right now. Qatar just happy to be here. I don't have any faith.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I think they're top of happy to be here, I think. You know what? Not even. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to say they're below Uzbekistan. I'm going to give them that. I don't rate this Qatar team. We saw last World Cup. They hosted. They were awful. It's pretty much the same team. What is there to say? I don't see them doing much at all, honestly.
And let's be real. Qatar's only, I've said this before, I'm going to continue to say this again. Qatar's only getting against Asian teams. When they play against non-Asian teams, they're terrible.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously at the World Cup, you're not going to play against any Asian teams unless you make the knockout stage, which is very unlikely. So.
Yeah.
And Qatar's defense was a calamity during the qualifiers. So, Afif, Almoz Ali, So, I mean, the only thing I maybe could say is that they do have Lopetegui as a coach. So, actually, no, I think he got sacked. Actually, never mind.
I don't even know, man. But I don't rate this Qatar team. It's pretty much the same team. They are not hosts. They were garbage as hosts. Probably the worst hosts ever in terms of quality.
Yeah, actually, let me check. Who's the Qatar coach? Is it still Lopetegui, or I think he might got? Oh, no, oh yeah, it is still Lopetegui. Never mind.
Yeah, but still, I just think no, I don't. Yeah, I don't system.
I mean, that's probably the only positive I could give you.
Yeah,
but anyways, moving on to England.
I mean, England. I think they got to be contenders, right? We know England. Yeah, they got to be. With they were made far with Gareth Southgate. Well, respect now that Thomas Tuchel, which is much more of a proven coach. So look, England. I know people dislike them. I know they can be arrogant. I know there's all that the media, the English media, everything I know. But if we put it on strictly on the team itself, look at the team and look at everything. They're a very talented team. They're a very, very talented team, and I think they can win a World Cup. They can.
Yeah.
It is. Now, will they do it? Well, I don't know. That's the thing. They do choke when it matters the most, when it hits them. But we see they can make deep runs, and they're a very talented team. They got to be contenders, I think. Not much to say.
Yeah, I also agree as well. You got top players like Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, Palmer, Saka.
So many.
Yes, so many players. And so I think for England, as I said, man, it's not about making deep runs anymore. It's about winning now. When are you going to start winning? Because I'm sorry, like this is all deep runs, nice and all, but how much time are you going to give? So
they do have an young team. I think they're going to be contending for a long, long time. But can they get it done though? Can they actually move past the hurdle? We'll have to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, it is Saudi Arabia.
I think bottom of average personally.
Yeah, I'm not.
Look, their team is good. I know they beat Argentina. Look, let's be honest. That was just that was a fugazi. Let's just be honest. It's just one of those. We saw them. To be fair, though, they could have gone through if they, didn't screw up against Poland and Mexico. But look, I think Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia got worse after the World Cup, in my opinion. They have got worse, in my opinion. Obviously, I know Renard is back and everything, but man, they were not good. They just kind of barely just made it here, man.
Yeah.
On the virtue of the fact, on the playoff round, they got the draw against Iraq. They kind of just advanced by the finest of margins. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this team. There's just not many quality players coming through. Al-Dasari, he's been kind of struggling, and yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have much confidence in Saudi at all. And to be honest, could you make an argument to be happy to be there? I'm kind of thinking that.
I'm thinking that, but I'm going to put them in average, bottom of average, because they've been in the last two World Cups. They were there, and to be fair, didn't really do that well in either of them. But now they're here. But I'll say they're here. I'll say an average, bottom of average for now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, just barely. You know what? We'll give them benefit of the doubt because of experience. But
yeah.
Next up, it is Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. Obviously, they're the defending AFCON champions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that story to win the AFCON was pretty insane, man.
Yeah, sacking the coach mid-season, mid-tournament, winning as host, to be fair, but also that. Damn, I don't know. Yeah. They have talented players. They have a talented team, but can they click? That's the question. When was the last time they won the World Cup? 2014.
I think 2014. You got obviously Kessie comes to mind, Hollow comes to mind.
Yeah.
The issue I have at Ivory Coast that they haven't been in World Cup for quite some time, and even in the golden generations for Ivory Coast, I don't think they made it past the. They have not done that well in the World Cups.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna say? I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I'm actually gonna put them above Tunisia, but below Jordan.
Ooh, okay. I think it may be. Personally,
or maybe we'll love them as well. I think the African teams are so hard to judge because I don't know. It's just they're so weird. They're not weird. And it's like you don't know them. They're such wild cards. You don't know what kind of versions you'll get. Who the hell Morocco was going to make semifinals last World Cup?
Yeah, because the African qualifiers are very difficult because it's very difficult. It's very grueling. It's probably very difficult because you have home and away ties and it's kind of luck based. Sometimes they make it and one it's just very on and off. It's not consistent. So yeah, I think I'm going to put Ivory Coast.
I think there. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Next up, it is Senegal.
Ooh, now. I mean, Senegal. Their qualifiers were good, right? They qualified well.
Yeah.
They were pretty.
Yeah, they qualified. I think
they have a lot of star power. They are very, very, tricky. They have a lot of experience.
The thing is, though, I think Senegal, the players kind of getting up there in age.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna put them in dark horse, but like a low dark horse. I think I'm gonna give them benefit of a doubt. I think.
Ooh, dark horse. You know what? I could kind of see it because honestly, I think they're better than the teams in average.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're. I trust them a bit more. I think they're more experienced, more mature. I just don't think their team, it is getting it a bit. But I'm gonna put them in dark horse, like below Canada. I think they.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, Mane comes to mind. Koulibaly comes to mind. Edouard Mendy.
Yeah.
But we just can't put them high in the dark horse because, like I said, there's just not many young players coming through.
Yeah, but I'm going to give them room for that. I just think, yeah. And it is, we should probably still have an African team there, so why not? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up, it is France.
I'm sorry, you know what? Not twice finalists in a row. Once won it, once got close. Forget about...
Let's say losing finalists.
Yeah, losing finalists. Previously, we weren't. I think for me, not only are they contenders, for me, they got to be top. In terms of pure, in terms of pure quality, you look at every single nation, I think at least on paper, and even in practice, in terms of best team, it's France. They have the...
You're putting France. You're putting France above Argentina?
Yeah, I am. I think... Now, I know in the Euros, they were a bit weird. They still made the semifinals. Like, they were weird, and they still made the semifinals. And to be fair, gave Spain a tough game, I think. I think they got to be up there. They have to be. Like, last two World Cup finalists. And
keep in mind, I feel like France is more of a World Cup team than a Euros team. I don't know if you
agree. I agree as well. And I think, look, Deschamps, maybe his time is coming. Maybe he's but at the end of the day, this is an experienced French team. They have many young talents as well. This is not a team you can sleep on. You should never sleep on France.
Yeah, and also when you have Mbappe on the form of his life.
Look, Mbappe in World Cups, we just know,
Yeah, this guy's a baller. So, France, honestly, I agree with you. I think France are better than Argentina as a
now, that's not me saying Argentina can't beat them again, or even if England, of course, these can happen. But even Brazil can, honestly. Hell, I can go. But, I think in terms of star talent, they have France for me got to beat.
Yeah, France is very good. Yeah, I rate France very highly. Let's move to Croatia.
See, this is tough because if we go track record wise, which is one ultimate dark horse that has been in the World Cups, is Croatia. We know what they did in 2018. We know what they did in 2022. But, man, it's tough because I feel like since then, Croatia have gotten older. Their team has aged. There is no... Modric is 40 years old. Rakitic is not here anymore. Perisic is pretty old. No, Brozovic is Saudi. Their team is... I feel like their team has not really transitioned into a new age. I feel like they just haven't.
Yeah.
But at the same time... Look, and we saw in Euros as well, they got knocked out early. But to be fair, though, in Euros, they just don't do as well as in World Cups, it seems like. But it's still Croatia, though. So... It's hard because I don't want to put them low. I don't want to put them in average. It's just straight up disrespectful. Let's be honest. They're much better than that. Man, where do we put them? Because they're always trying to put themselves hard in World Cups.
Yeah. I want to say dark horse. I think dark horse is fair.
You know what? I'm going to say top of dark horse.
Ooh.
They are more proven. I can't really put them in contenders because I just don't think they have the legs anymore. But
yeah.
I would not completely rule out another deep run of them because we have seen what this team can do. So I think I think.
Next up, it is Portugal.
Oh, man.
Suey.
So, see, if we go by talent, purely based on talent, this would be a contender. Purely based on talent.
Contender.
But then, I'm sorry, but Roberto Martinez is your coach. That brings it down for me. And also, I think we need to address the elephant in the room, right? I think we all need to address it now. Is his time coming to an end? You know who I'm talking about. Is it now time to move on?
Yeah. And he said some very interesting stuff in his interview as well.
Yeah,
Very controversial comments. Very
Look,
controversial comments.
Yeah. Look, I'll never doubt. Look, a team of Cristiano Ronaldo will always be a danger. A team you don't want to face, because I think he's never going to lose that goal scoring instinct. That's not something you lose. You have it, and he has it. But now, like, they don't really have a striker besides him. We all know, like, but their team is super talented. But Roberto Martinez as coach, I don't know. I'm gonna put them in potential contenders, but I'm actually gonna put them below Morocco. Funnily enough.
Oh yeah, you know what's interesting? Morocco eliminated them.
Yeah, true. They did it. Yeah. And look, I'm sorry, but if Ronaldo does not have another good World Cup, I mean, I'm not saying now he's a fraud or anything. He's not. Look, Cristiano Ronaldo will always be one of the greatest footballers ever. We'll never see someone like this again. Like Messi and Ronaldo, for me, I'm very confident I'll never see someone as good as them or better than them. They're just that kind of players, once in a lifetime players. But him having no World Cup knockout goals in his career, I mean, that's crazy. Like he has to get that done. We'll see if it happens or not. I think for me, they're player of potential contenders, but I can't put them higher because I just don't know if I have that much trust in them. But we'll see though.
Yeah,
they're a difficult team.
Obviously got the players like Leao comes to mind. You got Bruno Fernandes comes to mind as well.
João Neves, Vitinha, so many.
Yeah, Portugal. They're very talented, but the management and maybe Ronaldo is the potential liabilities.
We'll see though how they are. Not an easy team, of course, and they can give any team a tough time. But we'll see.
Next up, it is Norway. Holland.
First time in a major tournament since 2000.
Yeah.
Went perfect in the room. Absolutely, destroyed Italy, destroyed everybody pretty much.
He scored the most goals in qualifiers too.
Yeah. You know what? It's a bit tough because, you know what? Honestly, see, the thing is, a lot of times when teams come into it, I've been I fall for this as well. They get like very hyped up because of their qualifiers going into World Cups, right? Or going to major tournaments. Yeah. I remember Turkey in Euro 2020 comes to mind. Many others also come to mind in World Cups as well. And then they seem to disappoint. Norway is very inexperienced in major tournaments in general. Now, I'm not going to put them in average. I mean, I think they're better than average, though. Like, I think they have more.
Would you consider putting the bottom a dark horse?
Man, it's tough because I don't know. Like star-wise, I mean, they have Holland. They have Erling Haaland.
Odegaard as well. Actually, I
think they're in dark horse still. I think they have to be.
Actually, I feel like Norway's better than Senegal.
They are better than Senegal. Are they better than Canada, USA, Mexico, Ecuador, though?
I don't think I wouldn't go that far.
I think I'll put them above Senegal, but below those. I know this might be crazy because people say, how the hell? Look, I get it. I'm not saying they can't beat these nations, by the way. They can, but they're not experienced. They're not experienced at this level. But they can be a dark horse. You never know. I'll put them there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, next up,
I think they're going to improve. I think Norway's going to keep improving.
Yeah,
as Holland reaches his peak, I think,
Yeah, Holland, man. Yeah, let's move on to Germany, man.
This is so tricky.
The four-time World Cup winners getting back-to-back grouped exits in the last two World Cups.
They're so tricky, man. This is so tricky.
Yeah, because the talent Germany have is up there, but they haven't performed though.
But even talent-wise, it's not up there though. Like it's not. No. I'm gonna say it's or not. I think Portugal have more talent than Germany. I'm saying right.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yeah, I would probably agree, but the thing is, it's Germany at the end of the day.
It is Germany at the end of the day, but man, it's like. But then the last two World Cups, even last two tournaments, I know they were decent in Euros that they hosted. Lost Spain hard 5. I don't know. Qualifiers, I mean, I guess they did well, but like they're so hard because you don't. What Germany are we gonna get? Is it gonna be a Germany that we know, a Germany that's actually can win a World Cup? Because they're 4 times World Cup winners. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
Germany, that's been disappointing. That fell off. Not the same.
Like, this is so tough because I'm torn. I'm torn between two tiers, man. Dark horse and average. But then think about it. Can we really put a 4-time World Cup winner in?
Nah, I can't put them in average. Yeah. The thing is, they could also be potential contender. You don't know Germany. It's like Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'll put them top of dark horse probably.
But it does kind of feel weird though to put a 4-time World Cup winner at dark horse.
I agree, but like I'm trying to think though, like what Germany are gonna get. Like, I think they have to be. I think they have to be. I mean, to be fair, who's hyping up Germany? Let's be honest. Like they're pretty looked down upon. Like
that's true.
Even the Germans criticize them a lot. Their fans are very critical of this team.
Yeah. My issue with Germany is defensively. I think
really. But even the strikers, let's be honest, the strikers as well. Like they just don't have.
I don't know. It just
Ultimata maybe we'll see what Ultimata can do, but
it just feels wrong to me to put a 4-time World Cup winner at dark horse.
I think we have no choice though. We have to think objectively. I think they got to be in dark horse. I think top of dark horse, honestly. But I just think they're Germany at the end of the day. But
yeah, I can't put the contenders because I don't think they need to.
Not even. I don't think they're even potential contenders. I think they're a dark horse. They could be potential contender, but it depends on how they do in the tournament.
Yeah, it feels really weird to put this, but I guess it's just how the tiers are.
Yeah.
Next up, it is Netherlands.
Ooh. Man, it's tough because look, I don't rate Koeman as coach like that. But at the same time, we've seen, you don't need to have a great coach necessarily to go far. We've seen that also. Germany has Nagelsmann, which I actually think is a good coach. Nagelsmann, I think, is a good coach. But again, their team is...
the thing is, Netherlands is good defensively. Defensively, I think they're very good. Like Van Dijk.
Yeah, attack. But the thing of attack is even then, we see Cody Gakpo does turn up for Netherlands. We know Memphis Depay is still going strong. Like, man. You know what?
I think the midfield's also good too. Frankie de Jong, I think.
Dumfries. He has been a bit shaky for Inter this season. I think Inter's he's not as being as good as for Inter, but for Netherlands, he always seems to perform well, very, very well. So, you know what? I'm going to put them in potential contenders below Portugal. I think.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I think the only thing that's holding Netherlands back from being favorites, in my opinion, is that attack. That attack is just too mediocre for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if you want to be a contender, you have to improve that attack. I'm sorry, that attack is just not good enough. So that's why I can't put them in favor. But I do think they're very. I think they're very. They're a team that could be sleep. And I do think people are sleeping on this team. I think people are kind of sleeping on this team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to play into that. Next up, it is Belgium, one of the most overrated teams in recent years by the FIFA rankings. Let me put it this way.
Man, I mean, I don't even know, honestly.
Belgium, man.
I'll say this. In words of Kevin De Bruyne, let's be honest, since 2018 World Cup, Belgium just haven't performed up to par.
Yeah.
And as KDB said last World Cup, they're now getting older. They've been getting older since.
I mean, there are some young players that they're coming through.
True, like Doku, some others.
Yeah, comes to mind. Vermaelen, I think, is a young player.
Yeah.
So.
But bro,
the problem. I don't know. I don't have much confidence in Belgium, and let's be real.
Openda's garbage, by the way, for Juventus. So I don't know, hey.
And KDB. And I'm sorry, I don't
old now, facing injuries.
He's old.
I think you'll have to put them in dark horse because it's still Belgium. But man, last World Cup they got grouped.
Okay, this might be controversial, but I'm thinking maybe top of average.
No, I think I would put them in dark horse. But you know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I'll put them below Canada.
Ooh.
I don't trust this Belgian team. I don't believe in it. I just don't see the vision.
I think Norway's better than Belgium, honestly. As of now, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think I gotta put them there.
This is difficult. I don't know, man.
I think they're, yeah.
Okay. You know what? I can agree with that, I guess.
Yeah. It's so tricky though. It's so tough of them. You don't know, like.
Yeah. And next up is Austria.
So Austria, they've not been here since '98, I think, in the World Cup.
Yes. Yeah, 98.
Huh. I don't know, honestly. They could be a dark horse, but I think it would be low. Maybe above Senegal.
But you know what's interesting? Austria had such a good campaign in the group stage of the Euros, and then they lost to Turkey.
Truly,
I think a lot of people
were.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game, but like what I'm saying is that are they getting a bit overhyped?
A bit, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. But if we're putting Norway there, I think I would put Austria next to them, honestly.
Do you put Austria above Norway?
No, I think below because of Holland at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, Austria got some good players like Sabitzer comes to mind.
Yeah, they got some.
David Alaba.
Yeah, and others, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll put them there.
Next up it is Switzerland, man.
See, this is a dark horse of, I think, big dark, like, Switzerland, to be fair, they get destroyed by Portugal last World Cup, if we're being honest. But man, Switzerland more often than not are going to be tricky to beat, though. Like,
yes. Yeah.
I think they got to be in dark horse. I think high dark horse because they're just proven. They're just going to be that kind of a team. I think below Croatia, but above Colombia.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? I think people are dieting Switzerland the last two World Cups and saying, "Oh, Serbia's so good. Serbia's so good."
The thing of Colombia now that I'm thinking about is like when I went to the Brazil Colombia game last year. In the U.S., there's many Colombians.
Oh,
many of them.
Yeah. So, do you want to change where we put Colombia?
I think I'm gonna put Colombia above Switzerland actually.
Ooh.
But I think they're, yeah.
Okay. And next up, yeah, for Switzerland.
Current European champions now. Yeah.
Yeah, Switzerland, Xhaka comes to mind, obviously. And yeah. Let's move on to Spain, man. Spain, defending European champions.
I mean, they have to be a contender.
Yeah.
I think above England, honestly, because they did beat England. I think they're, yeah. Like, yeah. Okay. The thing with Spain is, last 3 World Cups were pretty disappointing from Spain. They haven't had a good World Cup since 2010, since the last one.
Yeah, basically since they won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they will be better this time, though, as European champions. They didn't actually miss a tournament as European champions, unlike some non-national teams, so at least they're here. I think they got to be a contender. I think Spain's got to be Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Big things. And
and Pedri as well. Yeah. So, I mean, Spain, man. I think they're, I also agree with you. I wouldn't put them above Argentina because, Argentina is still a defending World Cup champs. I think Argentina are more proven.
And even I still think France, I have them above Spain. But yeah, I think I would put them England. They did beat them in the final, to be fair. But yeah.
Yeah. So, next up it is Scotland. Scotland is back. And you know what's interesting, guys? The last time they qualified for the World Cup, I think it was in America. I think.
Was it? Or was it 98? No, 98 in France.
Oh, sorry, 98. 98, my bad. I was thinking about another.
But Scotland, look, it's nice, it's all, but let's be honest. They do have some players. You know what? I think they're going to be an average, though.
Yeah, I think Scotland. I read somewhere Scotland never made it past group stage. I think.
Yeah, that's something they just can't do. Like.
Yeah. So
you know what? I'll put them below. I don't know. Where do you want to put them?
I'm thinking maybe above, maybe behind Algeria, or maybe above Algeria.
Yeah, I'll put them above Algeria, but below Ghana. I think Ghana just are a bit more experienced. So yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, Scotland obviously got McTominay comes to mind. Obviously Tierney as well. And yeah, let's move on to Panama, man.
I'm sorry, but man, Panama. I'm not sure. This is their second ever World Cup. But you know what?
Yes, second ever.
I'm not gonna put them in happy to be here because I think they're a bit better than that. I think they're a bit better than those nations. But man, honestly, I'm gonna put them. I think I'll put them above Saudi Arabia in average. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think Panama and Saudi played each other in the Gold Cup, and I think Panama destroyed them. I think if I remember correctly,
something like that. I think. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You know what? I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. The last two nations, and then
obviously I'm sorry. Haiti.
Haiti. Wow. What a story, man.
Great story. You know what? For the sake of story, screw it. I'm gonna put them above happy to be here. Not above, but at the top.
Top of happy to be here?
Yeah. I think they can be. I think they're gonna take that into it. I just hope that they have their migration thing sorted, or the thing, passports and everything, that more Haitians can make it to the World Cup. But yeah, I think great story. They gotta be there.
Yeah. And then finally the last nation we got here is Curacao. And obviously I think Curacao are just happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, smallest ever nation to qualify, by the way.
I think we'll put them bottom. I think smallest nation to qualify. Yeah, I think this is it. But look, we'll see. I hope they have fun.
Yeah. All right. So this is the final tier list. So do you have any complaints with this? Or are you happy?
No, I think this is good. I think it's balanced. We have 4 contenders, 4 potential contenders. A lot of dark horses. I feel like there's a lot of potential for upsets, I think, in this World Cup, as there's more. A lot of average, I think, makes sense. Most teams, they're going to be average. And I think there's some happy to be here, trying to, see what they can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm very happy with that. So there you guys go, man. An hour and 11 minutes for you guys. Wow, this is a big one, guys. And like I said, guys,
I expected it might have been more, so I think it's not even that bad.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're excited for the World Cup. My World Cup draw is going to be happening. Remember, December 5th, guys, we're going to be doing the draw. Think of my channel live here on this channel, guys. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember, guys, to like, subscribe, and also check out Doodle. Doodle's platforms in the description below. I'll leave a link to his Twitter as well.
Thank you.
And so yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you.